Hello again, everyone. I've decided to do some episodes of Inside. So in this episode, I'm just going to quickly show you some secrets that we missed when I played through the demo. If you haven't seen that video yet, you can check it out on my channel to see how to get to these different spots. So yeah, after jumping off a cliff, after being chased by some dogs, you land in the water here. You see a little yellow power cord. If you follow it, you can come into this room, and you see it's plugged into an orb thing over there. The first time you play through this game, that orb will actually be glowing. And you just go over to it, and you pull out its core or something. I don't know. You pull it apart anyway, and then it stops glowing, and away you go. So that's the first secret in the game. The next one is in the cornfield here. This is one of the harder ones to find because there's no yellow cord that I've seen anywhere, and I've looked a good couple of times. So what you do have to look for is this spot here where the cornfield kind of opens up and you can see your guy really well. And as you can see, there's a hatch on the ground that's also really hard to see. And you just go down the ladder and to your left, and you'll find another one of these orbs to pull apart. And if you go over to the right, you see like a little switch panel and a door and a light. The first time you play through, that light won't be turned on until you get all of the other orbs, and then you'll just have to come back here. Hopefully you can hear right now the different tones that was making. So there's a big long combination of musical tones that you have to play with that to actually open the door, and then once you go through the door, you find the secret ending. Up here on the barn, we see another cord. So when you land in the cart of pigs, you actually move it all the way to your left instead of moving it all the way to your right. And then you can actually peel off like a little board from the side of the barn and squeeze through the hole. And then you come into a barn full of dead pigs, which is kind of weird and a little creepy. And this is sort of one of our first looks at kind of what might be happening for the story of the game. It seems to me as though they were maybe experimenting on pigs first before they started experimenting on humans. And here is where we left off. So we'll just carry on from here. So yeah, I think right about here is the exact spot where the demo kind of ends. And now here you can see in the background are some more of these like mind-controlled people. Zombies is the best thing I can call them, even though they don't appear aggressive and like they're trying to eat your flesh ever. They're just people that are under some sort of mind control or can be under mind control, and if they're not being mind controlled, they just stand dormant doing nothing. So yeah, anyway, you push that cart over to lower this chain to climb up. You come over here, open this window and climb through. Start running through this abandoned factory, maybe. Some canisters in the background that look a lot like the one that we saw in the forest that had a light on in it. These ones don't have lights on, so I'm guessing they're empty. But yeah, it's hard to say for sure with this game of what's really going on at all, because there's never any talking and there's barely any text of any kind other than we'll maybe see some numbers on the wall later that seem to mark different zones of this giant factory experiment thing with mind control weirdness. I don't know. I have a couple of theories about what's maybe happening in the game. So yeah, you have to be careful with this safe, because once it starts to fall, you do have to run backwards right away, otherwise you'll fall with it. And it is just big enough of a fall that you will die. So yeah, we kind of go back to where the safe fell through and climb down into that little hole. We see another yellow cord going to this vent that we can just peel off and climb through. Pull apart this orb and then come back out this way and carry on down here. So yeah, here's some like maybe abandoned train tracks. So maybe they were using carts or trains or something to transport these guys that we can still control with this device, and control two at once, although one goes the opposite direction of what you're doing. So yeah, open the door, let the one guy through, close the door, spread them apart, bring them back together is how you open the door. Hopefully you saw all of that and can copy that. Otherwise it's not too difficult to figure out. And then we keep going through this apparently abandoned, it's an abandoned building. Seems like it's maybe part of some sort of factory or facility of some kind. And yeah, we see the letters R and C there. When you slide down, you have to carefully jump at the end and then jump across to this ladder, because you can see the cord in the background. And some zombie things marching in the background, and the trucks like we saw in the forest. So yeah, another orb. And if you can hear it, that tape recorder is playing some musical tones. Wink wink, nudge nudge. That's how you solve the secret ending. So yeah, RCE letters, so maybe race. Maybe RCE is like the abbreviation of the company, or maybe it was just the old name of the hotel. Maybe it was REC, Rec. It was an old rec center. I don't know. But yeah, you just keep climbing along, running along. Doesn't matter what you do there. You will fall here, so just accept it. You'll be okay. You do have to make this jump though, or it leads to certain death. And you just keep moving along. Carefully approach this edge, otherwise you'll just walk right off and fall to your death. And yeah, you come down this pipe and there's some more of these drones. Maybe we'll call them drones. Even though I know nowadays drones means like a little flying helicopter toy thing. Whatever, drones can also mean mind-controlled people. Yeah, I don't know what else to call them besides drones or zombies. Anyway, so you keep coming, grab the ladder, knock it over this way so that you don't just climb up to a blank wall. And then yeah, there's like bodies all over the floor and some robot-looking security device things in the background. So this is maybe where there were like, you can see some cords attached to these people. Maybe they were attacking some people with the robots to collect them to be drones, but they die. Watch what happens if you accidentally step in the light. You get shot with a taser cord thing and start getting dragged off towards the robot. So yeah, be careful that you don't jump the gun like I did and step into the light. You can hide behind these pillars to stay in the shadows. And then you just run into the elevator and there you go. So yeah, again, if you don't open the elevator before you turn the power on, you will not have enough time to open the elevator before the light catches you and tases you. So keep that in mind for this little puzzle. And then yeah, we will carry on through here. Don't worry, you won't slip on the bird poop. Doesn't look like it gets your shoes dirty either. Also, does not matter how far you jump here or what you do here. You will kind of fall through there and land on this guy and take him out, which gets the attention of this security device here. And yeah, so what you have to do is, as best as you can, copy the movements of these zombie drone guy thingy whatevers. Or if you don't, this little security device thing throws one of those little taser cords at you and drags you away. Yeah, there is, as you can see, like a little bit of room for being a little bit off on your timing, so don't worry about it too much, but you will want to have relatively good timing on it, or you'll get tased and kind of have to start over a little bit. And now you can see in the background here, all these people in the background are obviously not drones or zombies or whatever. And when this guard comes walking up, you can see he's wearing a white mask, and it kind of looks like the people in the background are wearing the white masks. Even the younger looking people that might be kids. So my best theory is that maybe they're here to purchase one of these drones, but they wear the masks to stay anonymous so that nobody really knows it's them buying the drones, because maybe it's not like a perfectly legal thing yet. I don't know. It's kind of sort of my best theory that I've got right now, and we'll see some evidence a little bit later on that will kind of add to that theory. So yeah, even though you can't see the security device anymore, you can still see the light, and you're still standing in the light. So yeah, even if you try and start running at this point, it'll still tase you and drag you away. Don't know if you can hear the dog in the background or not, but right now it's only freaking out a little bit, and then all of a sudden it just goes insane. So as soon as you hear it freaking out, just book it and jump through the window. And even though it looks like you maybe just died, you didn't. And then there's some drones just standing around waiting, doing nothing. Make sure you let the dog come down that ramp at least a little bit. If you don't, it will catch you before you can jump into this thing. And then yeah, we use this guy to bring us over here. And you do want to land on this platform, not on the red box, because otherwise you'll quickly realize that you need the red box to be on this button, and you can't get back up into the machine if it's over there and the machine's back here. So yeah, and then we jump back in. Doesn't matter which way you're facing. When you grab the machine and swipe over to the right or push over to the right if you're on Xbox, he will go to the right. So yeah, the direction you're facing the machine doesn't overly matter. You do get control over the zombie thing from this point. And now we can actually jump him into a mind control device to control this zombie that just popped out of a box, which to me is a little bit of evidence that he was packed up to be shipped off somewhere. And usually when something's in a box being shipped off somewhere, it's because it was purchased. So that's kind of where I get my theory that these things are being bought from other people. So maybe it's like a class system, and the labor force has been turned into these zombie things, and now the middle class is able to purchase them to have as their own pets or drones or whatever to control, so they don't have to do menial tasks anymore. I don't know. Sorry guys, left my notifications on. Don't worry, I'll go collect my cargo from my cargo ship later. Excuse me. So yeah, you swim over, dive down, kind of tug on this pallet to free it from underwater, and then you grab it at the surface and drag it over here so that you can actually climb board and jump up over here. And then we keep going through this factory, trying to find our way out of here. So now we have a little room with a machine and a desk and some computer looking things. When you hit the button, the water level in here drops. And when you hit this button, the water level rises. So this and some stuff later in the game that we'll get to in another episode shows that they're definitely experimenting with water as well for whatever reason. So yeah, once the water level rises, you dive down, hit the button, quickly swim over so you can get up on the ledge and get in here, so that you can climb up here and grab this and drag it back outside. Yeah, there's quite a few little puzzles in the game like this where you go way over one way to grab something and drag it all the way back to somewhere else just so you can climb up onto something else and go somewhere else. But it's cool. I like it. I like puzzle games. I love the graphics in this game. They're just awesome. And I do actually really like the artistic way of doing the visual storytelling for the game, so that you can kind of create a bit of your own story and your own theories as to what maybe is actually happening. So yeah, there's a train running in the background, and there's another one over here with cages and people in it, I guess. I don't know, because more zombies being carted off to wherever. Anyway, we're gonna end it here, guys, so thanks for watching. Make sure you slap that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you in the next episode.